meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. Follow. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials. Grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Goodar.
Here.
Green.
Here.
LaFleur.
Here.
Nastrovich.
Here.
Ricks.
Here.
Schultz.
Here.
Yar.
Here.
You see everybody here tonight. Approval of minutes for the regular meeting of April 7th would be in order.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Being not, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We will move on to audience comments on any non-agenda items. If anybody would like to address the city council on any non-agenda items, we strictly ask that you come up and state your name and address to the clerk for the record. Would anybody like to address the city council at this time?
My name is Janet Helzer, 67793 Laura Court. Our electric was off a little bit this morning. Anybody know what happened? No?
No.
Okay. That's all I needed to know.
same thing.
Dennis, yours was too, I bet.
Yes, yeah. I know they're doing electrical work out on 32 Mile. I would assume that it possibly was related to that, but we did not receive notification.
Just long enough to scare everybody, you know, and then as soon as we made a phone call, it came right on. It's like, okay. Yeah. Is there anybody else like to address the council at this time? Okay, we will move on. Adoption of agenda, Mr. City Manager, are there any changes?
I would have one change to the consent agenda, adding item W, resolution 2014-3, a resolution recognizing the retirement of David Schroeder.
Very good. City Council, do you have any changes?
No.
Then a motion to accept the consent agenda with the addition of W would be in order.
So moved. Support.
What's been made and supported? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. We move on to items for consideration. I'm sorry.
The adoption of the agenda, you skipped by that after
Did I really? I'm sorry.
the city manager added that to the consent agenda. And then we just went to the consent agenda.
Yeah, I stated it wrong. I stated, wait a minute, I'm sorry. What was the motion? Was it for the consent agenda, or was the motion for the agenda with the W? Because we added the W.
Right, we never had a motion to actually approve, to actually adopt the agenda.
Okay.
You went straight to ask for a motion to adopt the consent.
The consent agenda?
Oh, that's, when I made the motion, I thought I was making the motion to
add
adopt the
W
agenda
to the agenda.
with W being added to the
That's what I
consent
thought.
agenda.
Okay.
That's what I thought we were doing.
That was my motion,
Okay.
is
Yeah.
to adopt the agenda with the addition of W to the consent agenda,
Okay.
not
Okay.
to approve the consent agenda.
Yeah. Okay. So, was everybody under that understanding?
Yes.
Okay, so then what we need to do is go back and make a motion to, for the consent agenda itself. Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the added item on there.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. There is no discussion on that motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion passes. All right, now we move on to items for consideration, which we have 8. The first one being consideration of a special event request for the Community Baptist Church. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to give consideration to a request from the Community Baptist Church to have a 20 by 20 tent in conjunction with their Vacation Bible School from July 27th through August 1st. The tent is being proposed along Friday Street, the Friday Street side of the property, and will encroach into the right-of-way by approximately 6 feet. The church will be redirecting the sidewalk around the tent, which will impact about 4 parking spaces along Friday Street. Administration's recommendation is for approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion before discussion?
I move to approve the special event application for attend in conjunction with the Community Baptist Church Vacation Bible School from July 27th through August 1st with the following requests: 20 by 20 tent encroaching into Friday Street right-of-way and temporary fence adjacent to tent along Friday Street.
Support. Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion? This has been done previously, at least 1 year. Is it the third year, maybe?
The Bible school this will be the first year they've rerouted around this tent.
Okay.
Yep.
What was it that we had done before?
We've done the tent in the park for their community church
Okay.
service.
That may be coming up at our
Yeah.
next city council.
Okay.
Yeah, they do a nice job with the space they have, so they always have a good turnout there.
I'm all for it, but I just quick question: is there a reason why they don't do it in the backyard?
We have Chair.
Is there somebody
I
here?
believe there's people from the Community Baptist Church.
Hi.
Aye.
I'm Marlene Dixon, and I'm the director of the Vacation Bible School. And we use every bit of the space in the backyard is the area. We are also putting a 20 by 40 tent on the whole driveway in the back. That's the area for crafts. The whole backyard is the area we use for the games time. And so that uses that, and we are expecting like 150 children, and so that's a lot of kids to, you know, accommodate. We're using our space to the max, and so out in the front, usually we had last year a tent right up to the sidewalk with picnic tables in it, and it was really tight, and so we just want to move it out another 6 feet so we can get a few more tables because we're expecting more kids this year.
While we have you up there,
Yes.
is there any other questions for the Baptist Church? Thank you. Okay. Any other discussion? Now we'll go to the audience. Is there any other discussion from the audience? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 2 is consideration of special event request, Richmond Bees Baseball Club, historical baseball game at BB Park, fundraiser for the Richmond Band Boosters. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider approving a special event request from the Richmond Bees Baseball Club to utilize the festival grounds and the band boosters to sell refreshments at the May 18th game. The Richmond Bees are a vintage baseball team from the historic town of Richmond, playing baseball the way it was meant to be played, as a gentleman's game with the 1860 rules and without gloves. That's according to their Facebook page. They have 6 Saturdays and Sundays in May and June where they'll be hosting home games in the festival field closest to the area kind of by the Derby pit. The Richmond Bees have also invited the high school band to play at their May 18th game, and the band boosters submitted a separate special event request to sell refreshments at that game. And talking to the band boosters, they'll more than likely just have a table with water, chips, pop, kind of small, not like a trailer like they used to have with some of the other events. Also, Mike Sapalaga is here tonight if there's any questions pertaining to the baseball. As I mentioned in the background brief, and I also talked with Mike, of their 6 dates, only one has falls where there's another big event in the park, which is Grandparents' Day on, I believe, May 31st, which there are other events going on. We just kind of let people know that particular Saturday parking will be at a premium.
Mike, would you like to come up and tell council what it is you're doing, since it's a brand new thing for council?
Hello, I'm Mike Spalaga, and I'm the captain of the Richmond Bees Baseball Club. We play by the 1867 rules. So that means we dress like this, play with a hard ball. It's not as hard as a normal baseball, but we don't use any gloves when we catch it. So, would you like to check it out? We have these bases. They're filled with rags These are made of canvas. Just stake them down with tent stakes. And another prop. So, the game we're playing is exactly like the one at Greenfield Village that you see every year when they have that World Tournament. This league is only 20 years old, and already it has grown to like 600 teams nationwide. So that's pretty good. Every year, even in our state, it grows by at least 3 teams a year. So it's getting big, and a lot of people enjoy it. There's no sliding, spitting, swearing. There's no called balls or strikes. It's fun, and you go out to the field, you sit out there on a blanket, watch a ball game. It's a great feeling. It's something that we've been missing for at least a generation. I remember when I was a kid, I would go to the ball field and just watch games. Got me interested in playing. I'm sure we all have memories of that. Some of our away games, we're going to be playing at Greenfield Village in July. Fort Wayne down in Detroit, I think that is also in July. It might be in June, not exactly sure. And we may be playing at Navin Field, depending on if we get asked to join in the tournament at Greenfield Village. So, I played last year, a couple games, so it's a good time. I'd like to see y'all come out and join us. And if anyone wants to play, still looking for more players. Everyone plays, so.
What kind of timeline from beginning to end for the ball games themselves?
We're looking probably at 3 hour.
About 3 hours, okay. And what time will they normally be played?
I would say on Sundays probably 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And Saturdays probably later in the day, 3 o'clock, just so people can get home from work and get out here. And, I'm doing that pretty much for my teammates and the other team. So.
How many on the team?
You're supposed to field 9, but we have about 13 presently.
Okay.
But that, you never know who's not going to show up. So.
Sure.
It's nice to have a healthy roster.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the Richmond Bees request to use a portion of the festival grounds in BB Street Park on certain Saturdays and Sundays in May and June, and the request from the band boosters to sell refreshments at the May 18th game.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Discussion.
I'm very excited. I look forward to this. I think it kind of goes right hand in hand with, the turn-of-century town that we have, and we have a historical society who does research, and kind of being neat just to see this great history uprising from our town.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of neat.
It'd be a very positive
Yes,
representation
absolutely.
for our community again throughout at least Michigan or the greater Detroit area. Sounds good. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I think we have the baseball diamonds for it. We're a baseball community, and this brings more people into our businesses. So hopefully they'll stop and eat and, spend their money that way too.
Absolutely. Anything else? Anybody in the audience? Any participation? Back to the table?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to say I know Mike sent out an invitation for me to play, so I'm still considering that, although my weekends are usually tough to do, but if there's not a major commitment, maybe I'll think of doing it. And I used to play baseball, so very interested.
Yeah, very good. Very good. I think, isn't your husband
My
involved?
husband is playing too.
That's what I heard.
Because he says it reminds him just exactly what he said. He used to just go out his backyard and just pick up a ball and bat and use whatever they could as bases and just play. And that's kind of when they had a practice. I asked him, so what was it like? And he's like, it was just like when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. We're hoping to see a game during the Good Old Days Festival this year if it will all work out. We just gotta find a big enough area to do it in, over there. So, very good. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion passes. Good luck. Item number 3 is consideration of a special event request for the Buddy Poppy Sale by the Richmond VFW Post 6802. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider a request we received from the VFW Post for permission to conduct their annual poppy sale Thursday, May 8th through Saturday, May 10th. Members of the VFW Post will be selling Buddy Poppies at the intersection of Main and Division.
Very good, thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the request received from the VFW Post 6802 to conduct their annual Buddy Poppy Sale at the intersection of Main and Division on Thursday, May 8th through Saturday, May 10th, 2014, from dawn to dusk. Further, the VFW Post 6802 members agree that they will wear reflective vests and utilize traffic cones, that the VFW Post 6802 agrees not to be in Main Street and Division intersections from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. on Thursdays, May 8th and Friday, May 9th. And further, the VFW Post 6802 agrees to sign a liability waiver.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion? This is an annual Buddy Poppy Sale. Is there any audience participation on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 4, consideration of special event request, Richmond Knights of Columbus, the Quad District Rally March. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider a request we received from the Richmond Knights of Columbus to conduct a march from the Kmart Plaza to Howard Street on Sunday, April 27th, 2014. Annually, a district rally is held, with each year being hosted by a different council. This year, the Richmond Knights of Columbus, it's their turn to host the annual rally, and we have hosted this before, I believe every 5 to 10 years. The last time was 2009.
A point of interest here, they're requesting a time period from 6:45 to 7:15. The motion says at 7.
Oh, okay.
Should we go to 6:45?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is there a motion?
6:45.
I'll make a motion to approve the request received from the Richmond Knights of Columbus to conduct a march along Main Street to Howard Street on Sunday, April 27th, 2014, beginning at 2:45 a.m.
6:45.
6:45. I can't read my writing, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
That's fine.
I'll support.
Motion been made and supported. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I'm familiar with this, and yeah, I think they're gonna start congregating at 6:45, but actually march at 7 o'clock to be to the church by 7:15, so
Okay.
I think that's why they wanted that window to have
Yeah.
the police ready for the escort at
Okay.
6:45.
And you bring up the point of the police escort. We will have a healthy,
Yes, what we normally do, I believe in the past, is followed them. They walk along the kind of the parking lane, so to speak, and we maintain traffic, but we block from behind.
okay. So somebody would be waiting for them at Howard probably?
Yeah, probably.
Just in case.
Yep.
Okay, great. Great. Okay, any other discussion on this? Any audience comments on this? Back to the table? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Item number 5 is consideration of the special event request, fireworks tent. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider a request we received from the American Fireworks to have a fireworks tent at property located at 66942 Gratiot Avenue, formerly the Richmond Sunoco or Larry's Automotive. The tent being proposed is for the dates of June 26th and through July 6th. American Fireworks sells both commercial grade fireworks to municipalities and festivals, as well as customer grade fireworks to residents. This tent would be for the, or I should say consumer, and this tent would be for consumer grade. City of Richmond typically only allows temporary tents for businesses that have a permanent storefront within the city. This business does not currently have a permanent business. They are located in the city of Memphis. We have done tents of this nature twice before with the intent of trying to encourage someone to come into town. One was for the produce tent in Kmart that ended up with somebody in the building across the street, and the same with the barbecue trailer across the street. So administration did provide 2 motions for council's consideration, and leave it up to council.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the special event application for a 20 by 30 tent and an 8 by 20 storage container in conjunction with American Fireworks from June 26th through July 6th on property located at 66942 Grash Avenue.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Discussion?
I do have one concern, is that this sets precedence, since we haven't done this in the past for a non-business owner, that this will be opening the door for stuff like this to continue to happen, which, I mean, it could go either way, a positive thing or a negative thing, so. I'd like to hear other opinions.
What wasn't in the background brief, I've talked to the gentleman who has done business with the Good Old Days for over 20 years now. So he has done business in the city of Richmond and done a very wonderful job for the city of Richmond, by the way, through his contracts with the Good Old Days Festival. He is actively looking at a piece of property in the city of Richmond right now. He's already had or ordered a, I want to say, not a site plan, he ordered, boy, I lost, survey, I'm sorry, I just couldn't pull it out of my head here. He has already, or had ordered a survey last week to make sure that where he was, he could do it according to federal law. The gentleman that is doing this is a licensed pyrotech, and I think it's the same situation that we have with Mr. Decker. Mr. Decker was looking at the possibility of coming into the city of Richmond. I don't believe at the time that we okayed that, I don't believe at that time that there was anything that we were made aware of. I'm not sure. I can guarantee you that I was told by the applicant that he definitely had the survey ordered for the piece of property, and had talked to him previously in the last couple of years how much he would like to be able to set up here in Richmond. So it's another one of those, the possibility is that he could set up here. The precedent, I don't believe we set a precedent. I believe we're the city council, and if we determine that it's good for the community, then I really don't think we're setting a precedent.
Well, I didn't have the background information that you just shared,
Sure.
so if he wasn't planning on being here, I guess it would kind of open up the door for other people to do that, but.
I think it opens the door if we want to open the door.
Okay.
The way I looked at it. A lot of communities do it. The administration feels that we're protecting those who are already here. The fireworks, from what I understand, the fireworks that we have had tents before set up here.
It doesn't matter that I'm not concerned necessarily the business nature, just a side stand. I didn't want our city to turn into a bunch of side stand places.
And neither do I. Either do I. No. But in this case, since he has been doing business for a number of years with the festival, and the fact that he is actively looking at property right now, it's the same scenario we had with Mr. Decker.
That's good to know.
As far as I'm concerned. But I'd like to point out to the rest of council that these other businesses that are applying for their fireworks tents that we've had over the years in Richmond, I don't necessarily believe that those are actually tents that are owned by, such as the dollar store or whatever. They could sublease. Is that not true?
The years that they were at Lenox Square, it was the owners of Golden Dollar who came in every year and applied.
And requested the
And requested the fireworks.
we didn't have to go so far to find out who actually owned that tent and who was selling and receiving the profit from that tent? In other words, that's not something we have to do?
No, I mean.
We took
it's-
them at their word that when they applied, and put that information on the,
Okay. They stated that they were the owners of the tent?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, whether they rented the actual canvas tent or not.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
I understand.
I'm talking about the fact that more than likely, it wasn't Dollar General or whoever that was, and there's been another one since then also. I would wonder if they actually
That
owned the
could-
business that was
right.
selling the fireworks. Normally, they don't. They're all over any place south of 23 Mile Road. And they go find a property owner who has a business, and they sublease their property to these guys. I don't think that was any different any other time. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact, but I.
Right.
believe
And we
that
don't
to-
either.
Yeah.
You're correct. We did not verify the ownership of the tent.
I understand the administration's concern. It puts them in a tough spot. But all it has to do is come back to the city council, like the other tents have in the past. So, any other comments?
No, and the gentleman's been doing business up in Memphis, in a storefront up there, and I have not heard any complaints from them, and we know that he's a legitimate fireworks distributor, you know, it's not, some of these are kind of like fly-by-night and do bring in the illegal ones. So, I'm comfortable with him coming in.
So, obviously, I mean, it's not in here, but I'm assuming they have full permission from the property owners
Yes.
to do that. And then you mentioned that they are looking at the site survey. Are they looking at this piece of property or just in general?
I'd really
trying
not
to find-
say.
Okay, okay,
Because it is,
Yeah.
you know.
sure. Okay, sounds good. And then also, obviously, they would carry their insurance over from their property in Memphis, would be covered on this piece of property during this event.
I would assume that, but since he has a reputable business and is a reputable pyrotech
Yeah.
for hundreds of shoots each year, and American Fireworks is the family's company out of Ohio. They're highly rated. That's why we still have them shooting fireworks for us after all these years. And they come in during the Good Old Days Festival with the proper insurance for the city of Richmond. So I don't know if that is something that would have to be done. Does the city follow up on that because of private property?
I don't know if in the past we have.
Yeah.
It may be something we can talk to him. I would assume that as a business owner, he carries liability insurance, especially particularly with the business that he's in.
Matter of fact, a conversation I had with him, I believe he has to show proof of insurance to the state to set this up.
Okay.
I know he's going through an application process with, I believe, either the state or the feds.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature, there's another step above the local level that they have to go through to get the tent approved.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I just did have one more question on the types of fireworks. I assume it's not the ones that, say, Kroger would be selling, or is it, I mean, it's probably a wide range, and if we get into setting that up there.
It is the consumer grade, so it's the
Now
bottle
with-
rockets, the
now
Roman
with the new-
candles, that
new
sort of
law.
stuff with the new law. I'm not sure exactly what Kroger
You don't think
carries. I
they carry
believe, I don't know what they carry.
Now, Kroger has to come in for a permit.
If they wanted to do a tent.
Yeah.
Now, if
Yeah.
it's an existing business, the tent is approved administratively through the zoning ordinance, but
Okay.
yes, yep. Just like they often come in for, spring flower tent, or, the most recent one, Ball Equipment will be doing a tent in conjunction with their, grand opening. An existing business doing a tent application under the zoning ordinance is now an administrative review, but that's why this is a little bit different in coming to you.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. My only, in the previous two other times, it was a one-time, because they wanted to feel out if they could, set up a brick and mortar actual storefront here. So, I guess, I would be supportive of the motion if we just add somewhere in the motion that this is a one-time approval, because that would follow our past practice. I think we did do that with Deckers, and I'm
Yep.
saying, this is a one-time, if it was in it, you don't come back next year. I mean, you know, either get a storefront, I mean, so I guess that's what I would like to see. Either a friendly amendment, or I'll make the motion to amend to include something that's, you know, this is a one-time approval to go in line with the previous 2 times, you know, we did this, these type of 10 approvals.
So your motion would be that they could not come back and petition
That this is
the
a
council?
one-time approval, not that they can't come back.
Okay.
But at least it's been recorded that you said if they come back next year, we've kind of put it on the record, and if it comes back next year, then we still remember that, you know, that's what we said, and if we decide, okay, we're gonna extend it, but it would be then in line with what we've done
Yeah.
previously.
Yep. Would you like to make that motion?
Okay, make the motion to amend this motion to include that this is a one-time approval.
Support? I'll give support. Discussion. I think it's only fair, because that's exactly what we did with the Decker situation. Not to preclude him from not being able to come back and ask him, because if the property that he is looking at, or any other properties he's looking at, doesn't go through, and next year, you know, something is in the works again, and truly is in the works, I'd hate to say, hey, no, you know, and I think we all have enough common sense that, you know, we'd look into that, and this time we'd make sure you had the information beforehand.
And that would be in the minutes, and if he came back, you know, typically staff gives us any previous minutes, we kind of refresh it, that's what we had talked about. And like I said, if he was gonna extend it, hopefully, you know, there'll be additional, like you said, additional information coming forward.
Yeah. Okay. Any discussion on the amendment?
I just have just a comment. I mean, I know now that with the new law that you can use fireworks more than just, you know, he used to be able to do. I'm just wondering if it's sustainable for him to open up another business here in Richmond for that. Is he diversified and have other things that he's selling to that would warrant enough customers to come in for all throughout the year, right? If you open up a business.
Right, yeah.
So, I understand and I agree with the amended motion, but, you know, sometimes it might not necessarily work out where you can have a sustainable business because it is kind of seasonal.
American Fireworks is one of the largest
Okay.
fireworks companies in North America.
So they're kind of looking like trying to get big, like some
Well-
of the, like, you know, I think of Ohio or something where they
Yeah.
have those big places that sell year-round and get
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, he sells year-round in an established building in downtown Memphis
Okay.
that meets federal specifications. He's evidently looking to expand into Richmond or whatever. I'm not sure what his motives are, or what else he might be able to sell, because there's very, very strict rules when it comes to these fireworks nowadays, what you can have and what you can't have. So I'm not sure what Mr. Giacotti is planning on doing. I do know that he is actively looking at a perfect piece of property he feels for his business. Whether or not he closed one in Memphis, I don't know, Mike.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I was just concerned that we, you know, if he comes next year and we say, oh, well, we said one time, and then, well, in that business, I'm sure it takes a while to build things up, and I wouldn't want to necessarily, because we had it in the motion that, oh, sorry, you can't come back, but as you stated, we can
But-
make a decision.
I believe he always has the option of going to anybody that owns a piece of property in the city of Richmond that has an active business, going to them and seeing if he can get them to take out the event, you know, the application for a special event.
Yeah.
So,
I also think it sounds like he does his fireworks shows on the weekends, and that sounds like that's more of his business. I think he has his business to sells the products that he shoots off himself, you know, to that extent, so.
anything else? Anything, any comments from the audience? Back to the table. We will first vote on the amended motion. All in favor of the amended motion, say aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. We now we'll vote on the main motion to approve the application. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 6 is consideration of second reading and adoption of ordinance number 15615, rezoning of 5 properties. Mr. City Manager?
This is the second reading and adoption of this ordinance. As we mentioned in the past, we noticed that there were a few properties in the North Forest area that when we adopted the new zoning map and ordinance back in 2005, got mismarked on the map, even though it was a kind of, we believe, a clerical error on the map. Talking with the city attorney, he felt that the best course of action was to do a introduction and first reading and then second reading and adoption to clean up those properties. As mentioned, they mainly relate to a couple properties that were rezoned back to office that are residential, or properties associated with parking lots that need to be put to the proper public zoning.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to give a second reading and adopt ordinance 156-15, which amends the official zoning map and rezones 5 properties within the city of Richmond.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion? This being the second reading, Mr. City Manager, do we hear anything from the public on this?
We did not.
Very good. Any comments? Any audience participation on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 7 is consideration of change order authorization request for Clarkston Lane. Mr. City Manager?
As everyone knows, winter's been unusually tough on the roadways here in Michigan, and the state did approve additional monies through Act 51 to be used on public roads. The additional funding for the city of Richmond is $19,808. The public service director, Paul Fayadellum, did take a look at how our roads came through the winter. There's a couple that do see a lot of traffic that have come through the winter in pretty bad shape. Some were bad going in, but the winter did not help them at all. The 2 that he's looking to use this additional funding for is to do kind of a permanent fix on Oak Street from the railroad, the old railroad tracks to BB Street. That's a major street and kind of a connector for many people heading to the park. And so that area we would mill off and put back. That would be more of a permanent fix on Oak Street. The other one is Grove Street from Division up to the Macomb Orchard Trail. That roadway is very similar to Pound Road was a few years ago. It's really coming apart. Unfortunately, it is in our road plan about the fiscal year 18-19, which so it'll be redone in the spring of 19. We don't believe that roadway will make it to the spring of 19. Unfortunately, we need to build the water fund back up after the Pound Road project because Grove Street needs new water main, and we don't want to do a permanent fix on Grove and then come back and chop through with a water main later on in a couple of years. So what we're proposing there, just like we did on Pound Road, kind of from Main Street to the east, is a 2-inch overlay there. We'll do some filling before that, but then we'll do a 2-inch overlay to help us get through to when we do the reconstruction of Grove. With that, Paul is here if you have any questions. I'll turn it back to council.
Thank you, sir. Is there any questions of Paul before we get going here? Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to amend the 2013-14 fiscal year major street fund budget by increasing the appropriate line item contractual services from $9,145 to $20,145.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Is there any discussion? Any audience participation on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. We have another motion.
I'll make the motion to amend the fiscal year 2013-14 fiscal year local street fund budget by increasing the appropriate line item, contractual services from $9,125 to $17,925.
Support. Motion been made and supported. Again, moving money from one fund to another to accommodate this. Any comments? Any audience participation? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. We have the motion to go ahead and do the improvements. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve a change order to the Clarkston Lane Improvement Project to effect street repairs on Oak Street and Grove Street with the expense of $11,000 charged to the appropriate line item, contractual services, routine maintenance, major streets, and the expense of $8,800 charged to the appropriate line item, contractual services, routine maintenance, local street.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? Paul, being there's only so many meetings left, could you answer a few questions for me, please? Paul's retiring. I want to make sure everybody realizes that. Not until July, but when we have the chance, we love to see your smiling face.
81 days.
We're going to miss that. Oak Street, definitely, no doubt about it, too. But Grove Street, I see there's a huge problem on the one side, especially on the west side with drainage. Is there any drainage in there at all? Is there a...
There's a catch basin on each side of the road.
On the east side?
Each.
Oh, on each side?
On each side of the road. The problem with a gravel shoulder, a non-curb roadway, is that drainage that is done when the street is constructed is only good for the summer that it was constructed. After that, if you plow snow or anything else that goes on, the flow lines get all messed up.
Yeah. Is there anything we can do as far as when they do the overlay? Is there, because it's only 2 inches of overlay, there's really not too much that can be done to somehow feed that drain?
We can try, but it's awful difficult when you're not doing like a total reconstruct and a land balance on the side and everything. You're basically taking what you've got and just adding 2 inches.
Yeah.
Of course, there'll have to be some aggregate put on the side of the road. We might be able to do something in doing with that, but it's very difficult to try to get water to flow when you're not doing a total reconstruct.
Yeah. Okay, gotta bring it up. I drive it every day, so it's just a big pool of water sits there by the house that's right behind the car wash. It just sits there, and I know it's just eating away at that road there, but this will be a great improvement.
If it's the driveway that I'm thinking of, that would probably be reduced quite a bit. I think that's just a big hole in their driveway entrance in there, so.
Yeah.
Once that road gets resurfaced and the shoulders get redone with limestone, that would probably fill that in pretty much.
Good.
That might take care of the issue by itself.
Good. That's what I was hoping. But very good. Any other questions? Come on. Thank you very much.
How do you reconstruct it?
There's only like 5 meetings.
From the beginning. How do you
Step one.
We wouldn't do that to you.
Is there any other comments from the audience on this issue? Back to the table?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I do want to say that I'm appreciative of the state government to send us an additional $19,818. You know, unfortunately, sometimes I think Lansing thinks this is a solution to throw just $20,000 and we helped you. So it's appreciated, but I really hope that all the debate that's going on in Lansing that we actually get a long-term road funding solution.
Absolutely.
It's definitely come to a head with all the potholes and so forth this year.
Absolutely. Anything else? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 8 is consideration of board appointments. Mr. City Manager?
We have vacancies on, or applications for vacancies on 2 of our boards. The first being Cable TV Committee. There's 1 vacancy, and we've had Mike Shoddy apply. His application was in your packet last time. Also on the Rec Commission, there are 3 people that are up, and one of them has submitted to the state, Michael Uriel.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Mike Shoddy to the Cable TV Committee for a vacant term with an expiration date of June 30th, 2016.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion?
I have one comment for Mr. Shoddy. He says on his application, whichever ones he may be qualified for, you are qualified to serve if you are a resident for 1 year. So please, on our vacancies, we appreciate people who volunteer and fill these positions. So thank you, Mr. Shoddy, for applying again.
Any other comments? Any audience participation on this item? Back to the table. All in favor of the motions, signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. We also have a motion to reappoint to the Recreation Board.
Make a motion to appoint Michael Uriel, to reappoint Michael Uriel to the Recreation Board for a 2-year term with an expiration date of March 31st, 2016.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported. Any discussion? Mike's done a good job on that board in the past. Glad to see he's still living in town. There was a possibility he was going to move out, and it looks like he's going to stay for a while. So glad that he re-upped here. Any other comments? Any audience comments? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. We thank both those gentlemen for filling those spots. And Lenore Warren did not get hers in on time for this meeting. She will have it in, if she didn't turn it in already, she will have it in before the next meeting for a reappointment to the Parks and Rec Commission. Okay, City Manager's comments, sir.
We're halfway through the DPW interviews. As I emailed out council earlier, we have 3 interviews today, 3 tomorrow. Going to be a tough choice. I think all 6 have the ability to do the job, and it's trying to find the one that's the right fit for the community. Also, I'll be sending out an email on the Department of Public Service Director's position on the search process. It'll be very similar to other department directors that we've filled in recent years. And so I should be getting that out in the next couple days.
Very good. We'll move on to council comments. Jeff?
Just congratulations to Dave Scheuer on his retirement from the DPW after 36 years. That's all.
And a happy birthday, too.
And
the
yeah,
day he
same
retired.
here.
62. The day he retired.
Yeah.
Time
Dennis?
is everything. I agree with Jeff. It's great having him around, and it's going to be sorely missed. So.
Absolutely. Jeff?
I agree. 36 years is a long time. Basic. But instead, I want to thank the Chamber for hosting the elected officials breakfast. Appreciate all the attendance. Many of our, also our state officials came in, and county and so forth. And as I spoke to the member of the Chamber, as we discussed it afterwards, in addition to getting questions from the residents and the business community, it also was a great forum for the elected to talk to each other. I think there was just to bring up different issues and, hey, what are you guys doing? Is there something we can do together? We don't always get kind of an informal thing over a meal, just kind of kick around some things. So I said really appreciate what they the opportunity they created by doing it.
Jamie?
I would also like to thank Mr. Scheuer. He's been part of the city of Richmond as long as I've been alive, so it's kind of neat.
Really called dating there.
I'd also like to thank our city manager, John, for a great job at the elected officials forum that the chamber had. It was very well attended. Mr. Moore did a great job at showing the positive things that Richmond has to offer, and it was like Jeff said, just a great opportunity for conversation, and we had one of our state senators at our table, so it's quite enjoyable, even more so then.
Did he have a good time, bud?
I'm not so sure he ran out of there pretty quickly.
Yeah.
He was smiling.
He did leave smiling.
They all smiled.
Yeah.
It did get interesting. I also like to thank the Recreation for a great egg hunt this past weekend. It was very well attended. My kids enjoyed themselves and keep scaring me with their fake spiders. So thank you for that. Also, the EDC, you guys will be getting our goals and objectives this week. We've been working really hard on them, on really putting them in motion. It's just an exciting time with EDC right now. Just a lot of positive things happening. We also had an opportunity to tour ball equipment this last weekend to see where our grant funding went into his HVAC systems, his just the repairs that he made to that building, and just very excited to have really a brilliant businessman, for especially being for so young. His business plan and the ideas, just I'm very excited to have him in town and what he did. I had one more. Oh, I have a question. Can I ask a question of Paul? A question? During this time? No?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
No, never mind. I'm fine, thank you then.
Maybe after the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, Michael?
I concur with everything that was said. I also enjoyed the elected officials forum that was held. It was definitely well attended. We had a lot of people from the surrounding areas that were there, elected officials, appointed officials, and dignitaries. Also, it's good to see on our agenda tonight, we have a lot of outdoor activities going on. 5 of the 8 items were all for trying to do things that are outdoors, so it's kind of nice to see that spring is here and summer's here, and people are trying to do things outside and bring people into the community, so it's great to see. Thank you.
Jim?
Nothing tonight.
I concur with everything that's been said, and especially with Dave Scheuer and his many years as maybe sometimes the only person that a person who moved into our town even saw from the city of Richmond. And he did a great job representing the city of Richmond over those years, being the fact that he worked with the turning water on and off, and sometimes off, and he still did a great job. So I'll go to the calendar, today being the 21st. Tomorrow we will have our first city council budget workshop starting at 6:30 right here at City Hall. TIFA will be meeting on the 23rd at 7 o'clock at City Hall. The library book sale will be happening the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. 9 a.m. to 4:30 on Thursday and Friday, and Saturday will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for their famous library book sale. A week from tonight will be our second City Council budget workshop at 6:30 here at City Hall, and again on the 30th at 6:30 here at City Hall for the budget workshop. National Day of Prayer will be held at noon on Thursday, May 1st, right here at City Hall for about 20 minutes. I think it's 12 to 12:20?
12:20 to 12:40.
Oh, 12:20, I'm sorry. 12:20. Schultz, you didn't write that down. You let me down. 12:20 to 12:40. I stand corrected for National Day of Prayer here at City Hall. And 2 weeks from tonight will be our next City Council meeting. John, I hate to put you on the spot, but I just wanted to make sure so we let people know well in advance. The police department,
It's May, if you switch to May, it's I think the 15th there at 7 p.m. Is that?
Right there is this, I believe, is that what that says?
Mhm.
Yeah, police awards, okay.
Yes.
So on the 15th?
Yes.
At 7 o'clock at the police post?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So on May 15th, you have the opportunity to come to the Richmond Police Post and thank the officers for the job that they've done. It is National Police Week. There is a small ceremony that is put on. We invite the entire community to come on out. And to entice people, we have some outstanding refreshments afterwards. And that's a few less refreshments that Mr. Yark will have to take home with him this year. So if we get more people there.
It seemed to be that a lot of people were encouraged.
I just wanted to point you out, that's all.
I like the sweets.
I know.
You gotta take them home to the wife and,
All right. Is there anything else that we need to add to the calendar? Little League will be opening up on, I believe it's the 26th of April is their first big day for opening. Yes, the 26th, Saturday. And I believe girls fast pitch will be opening sometime around May 17th. So we're going to have a lot of kids running around our community again, walking on bicycles and everything else. We warn the public, watch out for them. Help us make it a safe season again for all of our children in Richmond. Is there anything else? Being not, we move on. Is there any other business of the city council this evening?
I just have one thing to add, I forgot around. Our goal right now is tomorrow you'll receive the budget packet for your meeting on the 28th.
Okay.
And then Friday, we will send out the budget packet for your meeting on the 30th. I know we have two coming up, and if we put both of those out on Friday, you're not gonna have time to get through them both. So you'll get your packet for the Monday meeting tomorrow, and then your packet for the Wednesday meeting on Friday to try and give you at least a chance to get through them all.
Very good. Appreciate that. Motion to adjourn be in order.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. There's no discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion passes. Thanks for being with us.